Give it up for your first contestant tonight, Zachary, Skiles. Let him hear it!
Did you guys watch the Super Bowl? You get excited about that shit like I do? I'm from Baltimore, so I was super excited about it. I also thought it was awesome that people were bringing up the Ray Lewis murder shit again, because I think it's hilarious. Because honestly, I don't give a shit how good of a person an athlete is, especially one if they play for my team and they're really good. Doesn't matter. Like, okay, people who get upset about Ray Lewis not being a good example, first of all, why is he your moral compass? Probably pick another one. And the people are like, well, he sets a bad example. He sets a bad example for the kids. He makes them think that if they're rich and famous, they can get away with anything. And that's totally how the world works, so he's teaching them an awesome life skill. That's your job as a parent, so maybe don't let Ray Lewis parent for you. If you don't like how he parents, maybe don't let him do it. But I'm a dad. I have 2 kids of my own. And I want them to have good values, be set up for life. Like, I want to, make sure they know that if somebody tells them that they can't do something because they're not smart enough, they're not strong enough, they're not fast enough, whoever's telling them that probably has a fair point. All right? Most people can't self-assess that well. So if they tell you you can't do it, just go on to something else. Like, people would have you believe that the underdog wins in this country, but it's not true. People say things like, well, Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, they dropped out of college and they're billionaires now. Very true, but they're Harvard dropouts. And there's a distinct difference between a Harvard anything and where you went to school, all right? They weren't taking night classes at a city college like, I got an idea now. No, they're like, oh yeah, I don't need to go to school because I can already make $1 billion. And people use sports as an example of good underdogs, like The Blind Side, that movie with Michael Orr. They're all like, oh, it's an inspirational movie. It's just so inspiring how he got to the NFL. Not really. Have you seen him? He's fucking huge. It was an inevitability. It was either that or be a bouncer, And he picked NFL. He chose wisely. And that movie wasn't even about him. That movie wasn't about his struggle. That movie was about, look how nice this white family is. That movie was just PR. That's it. But, yeah, when I had my first child, my mom didn't think I was going to be a good parent. And that hurt my feelings. But, and it wasn't because I was 18 years old and just graduated high school 6 months before that and was stupid. It was because I'm not a Christian. So they thought, because of that, I can't be a good parent. And so my mom, who's super religious, tries to remind me all the time why I should. She's like, Zachary, God sent his only son to die for your sins. He did that for you. I'm like, well, I didn't ask him to. He's like, well, he did. Jesus paid for your sins. And I'm like, well, first off, I'm going to get my money's worth. All right? That's step one. And secondly, I don't think that's why God sent Jesus down here to die. I think it's because he was a little bit embarrassed because of all the God's kids. He's kind of the queer kid in the group. Like, Odin has Thor, and Zeus has Hercules, and then God's got Jesus, who, unlike the other ones killing monsters, he drinks a lot of wine, hosts parties, hangs out with these 12 dudes a lot. Really doesn't stack up that well with the rest of them. Like, I would imagine, like, they all have to go up and report what they did up in heaven. And then, like, where Zeus and Hercules are sitting there, Hercules and Thor going back and forth about, I killed this monster, I killed that monster, I saved the earth. And then Jesus is up there like, so here I am, Sermon on the Mount. Everyone's super hungry. And they're like, Jesus, we only have 2 fish and a loaf of bread. And I'm like, hello, finger sandwiches. And then Odin and Thor, Odin and Zeus are just, giving God the business. So, like, that's your kid? You flooded the earth and that's what you made? Jeez. God, just like, all right, seriously, dude, you bring up finger sandwiches? You raised a dude from the dead last week. Why are you bringing this up? He's like, well, Daddy, I thought this was the cool thing. It's not the cool thing. Kali, the Hindu goddess of death, won't stop giving me shit about you. In her religion, you have to feed people eyeballs and brains and pull out their hearts and other stuff that happened in the Temple of Doom. But you are sitting there making wine out of water. Seriously? All right, you know what? We're going to fix this. We're going to crucify you. Why? Because it's fucking tough, all right? So crucifying and burying Jesus was like his way of spanking him and sending him to his room. And in order to make it work for the rest of us, he's like, well, that's how you get into heaven. All right, thanks a lot. That's my time.